VDM, there are no unknown gunmen, his explosive claim about police checkpoints. At the 2026 Nigerian Bar Association Annual General Conference in Port Harcourt, Rivers State, Verydarkman made one of his strongest claims yet on Nigeria's insecurity crisis. Speaking before lawyers and security officials, including the Inspector General of Police, VDM argued that there are no unknown gunmen, and accused security agencies of knowing more about kidnappers and violent criminals than they admit. 1. What exactly did VDM allege? VDM claimed that police, military, immigration, and customs personnel operating checkpoints have opportunities to observe motorists and identify people who may be wealthy or vulnerable. He alleged that information about such motorists could then be passed to kidnappers, helping criminals identify potential victims. 2. His biggest accusation. VDM's argument is essentially this: if there are numerous security checkpoints on major highways, yet kidnappings continue around those same routes, Nigerians have a right to ask what is going wrong. He specifically referred to the Lagos-Abuja route and the Lokoja axis as examples. But there is an important distinction. These are VDM's allegations, not established facts. They require evidence and investigation before they can fully be treated as proven. 3. Why is this claim so serious? If proven, the allegation would suggest an extraordinary breach of public trust. Security personnel entrusted to protect motorists could allegedly be helping criminals identify potential victims. But if the allegation cannot be substantiated, it risks unfairly damaging the reputation of thousands of security personnel who may be doing their jobs under extremely difficult conditions. 4. Why did VDM say this at the NBA? VDM explained that he was not invited to teach lawyers law. He was there to share his experiences with insecurity and violence. His argument was that insecurity is no longer an abstract legal issue because even judges and lawyers are becoming victims of kidnapping. 5. The real question Nigerians should ask. VDM's explosive statement should lead to investigation, not simply social media arguments. If information from checkpoints is actually being leaked to kidnappers, authorities need to identify those responsible and prosecute them. But if there is no evidence, sweeping accusations against the police, military and other security agencies should not become accepted as fact. Akayi News Analysis. The most important issue here is not whether Nigerians agree with VDM. It is whether Nigeria can properly investigate the relationship between security operations, intelligence gathering, and kidnapping networks. VDM has thrown the allegation into the national spotlight. Now the responsibility lies with the authorities to provide answers. What do you think? Is VDM exposing a serious security loophole, or is he making an allegation that requires much stronger evidence?
A lot of these governors, see, okay, I will answer you with Wike. I'm not saying Wike puts money, but listen. We all know Wike is a very stubborn man. Wike doesn't care. But when they asked Wike about the cows, Wike said, I can't talk about it. He knows the people that have invested in it. So you can bring Wike and ask him why. He said,
Wike is on this panel.
Bring him, invite him.
No. This panel, of course, it's too late to bring Wike here. You mentioned government, but that's okay. You already told us who the government is, but so continue.
Now, there are no unknown gunmen anywhere. They are the unknown gunmen. The military men are the unknown gunmen. The immigration, the customs, these guys are the unknown gunmen. Nobody else. See, surprisingly, we have a lot of checkpoints in Nigeria. A lot of checkpoints, police checkpoints. When you're traveling from Lagos, you're coming to Abuja, Lokoja axis, you have a lot of checkpoints there. But then again, a lot of kidnappings happen along that route. Do you know why? When you pass with your car, you meet a checkpoint. When you meet the checkpoint, the policemen say, wind down, you wind down, open your boot, you open your boot. Believe you me, everybody knows who's rich and who is poor, and everybody knows the people that belong in the middle class. So when they look at you, okay, when you pass, they make those calls and say, the red Corolla, somebody is there that can pay. Do you understand? It's not rocket science. It's not.
VDM says cows are being used for money laundering. What exactly is his claim? Verydarkman has made another striking claim at the 2026 Nigerian Bar Association Annual General Conference in Port Harcourt, Rivers State. Speaking during the discussion on insecurity, VDM alleged that livestock, particularly large numbers of cattle moving across Nigerian roads, could be used as a channel for money laundering and the movement of illicit wealth. But what exactly is his argument, and can such a serious allegation be established without evidence? 1. What did VDM claim? VDM questioned why Nigerians see large numbers of cattle being moved around the country. He alleged that cattle can represent enormous financial value and claimed that government-linked money could allegedly be invested in livestock as a way of concealing or moving wealth. 2. Why is this claim attracting attention? The allegation is unusual because it connects cattle, government money, insecurity and money laundering in one argument. Coming from VDM at an NBA conference, it immediately puts the issue before lawyers and other professionals who deal with questions of evidence, accountability and financial crime. 3. But an allegation is not proof. This is where caution is necessary. There is a major difference between saying that cattle can theoretically be used to move or conceal wealth and proving that government officials are actually using cattle for money laundering. VDM's claim therefore requires evidence, financial records, ownership structures, transactions and investigations by competent authorities. 4. The bigger issue is accountability. Whether VDM's specific allegation can be proven or not, his broader argument raises an important question. How effectively does Nigeria track the ownership and movement of large assets and investigate suspicious wealth? That is a legitimate question for law enforcement and financial intelligence agencies. 5. What should Nigerians take away? The important lesson is not simply that cows are being used for money laundering. The responsible question is, what evidence exists to support VDM's allegation, and will any competent authority investigate it? VDM has once again demonstrated his ability to introduce unconventional issues into Nigeria's national conversation. At the same NBA conference, he also faced criticism from a military representative over his broad corruption claims and subsequently apologized for generalizing about the military. Akahi News Analysis: VDM's growing influence means his allegations can quickly become national talking points. But the public should distinguish between a claim that demands investigation and a fact that has already been established. The real test now is whether his startling allegation about cattle and money laundering generates evidence, investigation and answers, or simply another viral controversy. What do you think? Should VDM's claim about cattle and money laundering be investigated?
If you notice, you go around in Nigeria, you see cows passing on our roads, and you'll be wondering why so much cows are going around and passing. You know why? It is money laundering. It's the government. It's money laundering. Let me tell you how. How much is a fat cow, a very big cow? It's sold at 2 million. You see an Aboki man going around, a Fulani man going around with 500 cows. That is 1 billion naira. That is money laundering. So instead of the government to tell these cows to stay inside, like in-house ranching, right? They won't, because it's their investment. And the Fulani man has told them that, see, these cows need to walk around so that their meat will be sweet. Or they have some sort of excuses that is giving them that reason to have their cows go around. So the government, they invest in these cows to the money that have been stolen, they put it in the cows. 500, you see 1,000 cows, if 500 cows is giving you 1 billion, or if it's so that, yes, 1 billion there are 500, 1,000 is giving you 2 billion. I'm sure a lot of you have never thought about this before, have you? Exactly, and this is why I'm here, to tell you what it is. So do you understand?
So, again, am I saying... Do not take over.
Nigerian lawyers hustle for pictures with Gunmen. What does it mean? Earlier today at the Nigerian Bar Association Annual General Conference, an unusual scene caught attention. Nigerian lawyers were seen hustling to take pictures with social media personality Gunmen, VDM. At first glance, it may look like just another celebrity moment. But there is more to it. 1. Why is VDM attracting lawyers? Gunmen has built enormous visibility by speaking aggressively on controversial social and political issues. His ability to attract public attention has now extended into professional spaces. The fact that lawyers wanted pictures with him shows just how powerful social media influence has become. 2. The irony is striking. VDM was at the conference discussing serious issues involving insecurity, the police and the military, yet outside the formal discussion, lawyers were eager to take pictures with him. That contrast itself became a story. 3. Is this celebrity culture entering the legal profession? Not necessarily. Lawyers are also ordinary members of society who can admire public personalities. Taking a picture with VDM does not automatically mean they agree with everything he says. But it does demonstrate that public influence today is no longer controlled exclusively by traditional institutions. 4. The bigger lesson. VDM's presence at the NBA conference shows that social media personalities can now command attention in rooms traditionally dominated by professionals, politicians, and public officials. His influence is becoming difficult to ignore. 5. What should we learn? The real power is not simply in having followers. It is in being able to move conversations, attract attention and generate reactions across different sections of society. And today's pictures with Nigerian lawyers may be another indication that VDM has crossed from being merely an internet personality into becoming a significant voice in Nigeria's public conversation. Akahi News Analysis. Whether people agree with VDM or not, one thing is becoming increasingly clear: people are watching him. What do you think? Is VDM's growing influence a positive development or a warning sign? VDM apologizes to Nigerian military. What really happened at the NBA conference? Gunmen has apologized to the Nigerian military following controversy over remarks he made at the Nigerian Bar Association Annual General Conference, where he was criticized for appearing to generalize that members of the military are corrupt. But beyond the apology, there are important questions. Why did VDM make the statement? Why did the military take exception to it? And what does his apology tell us about the difference between criticizing an institution and condemning everyone within it? 1. The controversy started with VDM's sweeping criticism. VDM's comments touched a sensitive issue in Nigeria, allegations of corruption and misconduct within security institutions. The problem with describing an entire institution as corrupt is that it can place people who have done nothing wrong in the same category as those accused of wrongdoing. That appears to be the central issue behind the military's objection. 2. Why did the military push back? The military's response is important because soldiers operate within a highly structured institution, but they are still individuals. If particular officers are accused of corruption or misconduct, those individuals should be identified and investigated rather than automatically assuming that every member of the military is corrupt. This distinction is critical in any serious discussion about national security. 3. Why is VDM's apology significant? An apology does not necessarily mean that VDM has abandoned his criticism of corruption or insecurity. Rather, it can mean that he recognizes that generalizing about an entire institution went too far. That is an important lesson for public commentators. Strong criticism can be legitimate, but criticism becomes weaker when it relies on sweeping accusations that cannot be applied fairly to everyone. 4. But should the apology end the conversation? No. The apology should not prevent Nigerians from asking legitimate questions about corruption, accountability, insecurity, and the performance of security agencies. The better approach is to move from general accusations to specific evidence. If an officer or institution has failed, Nigerians deserve to know what happened, who was responsible, and what action was taken. 5. The bigger lesson from the VDM controversy. Perhaps the most important lesson is that Nigeria needs both accountability and fairness. Security personnel should not be above criticism. At the same time, they should not all be labeled corrupt because of the alleged actions of some individuals. VDM's apology therefore presents an opportunity to have a more mature national conversation. How can Nigerians demand accountability from the military and other security agencies without unfairly condemning those who are doing their jobs honestly? Akahi News Analysis. VDM's influence means his words carry significant public attention. That makes the controversy bigger than one apology. The real question is whether this episode will lead to a more evidence-based conversation about corruption, insecurity, and accountability in Nigeria, rather than simply another social media controversy. What do you think? Was VDM right to apologize, or should he have stood by his original statement? Drop your opinion in the comments and subscribe to Akahi News for more Akahi News analysis.
Okay, so before I answer the question, I would like to apologize to the Nigerian military. Maybe I generalized everything. Like you know it. You know what I was trying to say. So I will apologize if you took it out of context. But I'm sorry in between, yeah? I'm really, really sorry. Very, very sorry. So now I'll come back to the question.
I apologize to the military guys too. They are our heroes.
Yes.
We know their sacrifices, so I apologize to them if they take it in a bad context. I'm sure that's not what he meant.
All right, thank you. So.